Welcome back. In today's class, let's see how we can make different types of drawings but using the drafting skills. Okay, so professional drafting skills are something which will be very useful for you to make your drawings in a much more precise way and in a lesser time. So the most important part is like always when we get a drawing or when we are into this drafting industry, we always get the drawing within an time period, so we don't get much time to develop the drawings. The time is like allotted like maybe 30 minutes or 1 hour or 2 hours depending on the requirement of the drawing. So we will be allotted with the drafting hours. That's the specific name we generally use. So when the drafting hours has been allotted, okay, so we need to accomplish our drawing within the time period on time or before. That is the only rule. If you want to just excel yourself into this drafting industry, that's how we work. Okay, so now for that what we have to understand is using the regular tools which is there on the toolbar, like using the line, polyline, circle from the draw command, and then based on the situation using the modifier tool will not work out. Okay, what we as a professional we do is like we use only 10% of draw tools, 90% of modifier tools. Okay, so right now the stage of fresher learning, beginner level we have, so we always do 50-50%. 50% we use the draw tools and 50% we use the modifier tools. But I request all of you, whoever is interested into AutoCAD and the drafting part, so you have to make sure you depend more on the modifier tool rather than the draw tools. Okay, so in today's class what I have taken is from our one of our practice sessions. So these drawings are from day 2. So from day 2 only we make sure that all our students get some hands-on real-time experience on the real-time drawings. So really when we make a drawing we have to coordinate all the views. So that's what we do it. Okay, so I have taken a small example practice file here where you can see there is a plan view, there is an elevation, there is a section. So just like the IT industry, I request all of the civil engineers and the other departments as well who are into this drafting part, they need to understand the drawing language. Just like we have machine language in IT, in this non-IT, in the designing industry, you should also know the drawing language. Drawing speaks for you. So nothing will change the strategy or the things here. So only your drawing will talk about you and your skills and your performance. So understanding the drawing language is very important, which we'll do step by step. So in all our classes, we'll try to focus on understanding those, but it will take some time. It's not something which will happen in a day or two. So we have to be consistent in learning. We have to understand all the small things, maybe a small line, maybe a small layer, why hatch is given, why not the line is thick, why it is so light color, why it is hidden color, why the line is continuous. So these things matters a lot, which will slowly learn it. Okay, so first of all let's understand how we are going to do this drawing. So let's focus on the plan view. Okay, so first of all what you have to do, are all the dimensions are perfect, are they matching or not? As we know from our previous class, like plan view always has 2 dimensions, elevations 2 dimensions, section or side view has 2 dimensions. But when you try to compare one view to the other, there will be one common dimension, and that's how you match it. So let's say I have a plan, I have an elevation. So what is matching here, you have to understand that this width 38 should be in a plan as well. So I see here I have the 38 inches. Similarly, if I go to this section, okay, the depth has to match with again plan view. So 25, and you see you have 25 here as well. So let me just mark it. Okay, so it becomes easier. So I have 25 here, and then if I come back I have 25. Similarly what I saw there 38 inches, and same 38 inches is here also. Okay, now how do I match my elevation to the sectional view? So now in this elevation what I have is the height. Okay, that has to match. So if you notice these dimensions has to match, and all the dimensions here from the floor, 32 inches is matching, 32 inches is matching, 18 is matching, yes of course it is matching. Then again 24, you see, yes absolutely it is matching as well. So all these things matters a lot when you're making a drawing. Only then you can save your time. okay? We as a beginner level, if we just start, okay, I have a plan, I'll start doing, no, don't do that. So first of all, match your views, because sometimes there will be discrepancies. That means some dimensions may not match. Then how you're going to take a decision when you're in between your drafting? Okay, so it's better always review your drawing thoroughly before even you start it. Okay, so now let's do one thing. We'll just start doing our views. Okay, now let's start with the plan view. So in a plan view, what do I do here actually? So in a plan view, first of all, this defines my wall. So this is your wall. So this is your wall. And now I have here, this is my countertop. So what you see here, this 38 inches, this is your C top. So let me write it as C here. Okay, so this is my C. Now, similarly, I have to also these can be some cutouts, okay, on the top of this countertop. So need not worry about it right now, because in this view the cutout information is not given. So let's not focus on this cutout information. Outer things will focus on this class. Okay, so now in this plan view I have to make my wall, then I have to make this countertop, and inside cutout also dimensions has been given. So let's try to focus on that as well. Okay, so why this thing, this frame which is there here, okay, is not shown in a plan view is because, see, when you're making a plan, always the interior plans are developed at different height. Okay, exterior plan can go up to like 5 to 5.5 feet of the house floor plan, but when you're making the room partitions, okay, the floor plan of that room will not be greater than 4 feet or 3 feet. Okay, we try to always cover up between 3 to 4 feet depending on requirement. So now what I suggest is, wherever your countertop is there now, try to develop your view until that height only. So especially in the interior room conditions, we do that. For other views, we can always create an horizontal sections or vertical sections. For sectional information, we'll discuss about that in different classes, not right now. Okay, let's first focus on the actual views. So right now what I'll start with the plan view. I'll come back here. Now let us start with the drawing in this session. So now let me give some Excel enter, H enter, and then I'll start with my plan view. So what does the plan view states? You have to give an offset of 38 inches from the construction line. Okay, and what is the depth? We remember the depth was 25 inches. Okay, so now here I'm going to change my layer color because it becomes easier for you to see it. So I'm going to give the boundary command instead of using R enter, REC enter, or polyline PL enter or L enter. You can always depend on the boundary command where you need not do anything. Just pick it. Okay, so I'm going to give the boundary command, pick the points and click on the center, and automatically my rectangle is developed. Okay, now the thing is I have to also make my wall lines. So I'll just roughly give this. Okay, so from the center I'll just create a mirror and I'll trim off the unwanted lines, as simple as that. Right? Okay, now next thing what am I going to do is, inside I have to give the offsets for the cutout. Now here I have 38 inches, here I have 25 inches. So in this what am I going to do is, from the back of the wall 5 inches and from here 9 inches I'm going to create this cutout. That means equally here also 9 inches you have to give, and here you have to give 5 inches. These tricks are very important in a drawing. When somebody is not giving you the other side of the dimensions, then there are chances like 99% they are similar dimensions. So here also you can apply the same formula. Okay, they are similar dimensions, that is the reason they have didn't specified here. So I'll just come back and give 5 from the back, offset O enter 5 from here, and then offset 9 from this other side. Similarly I'll repeat the same. Okay, now just come back to the drawing. Now here also I need to give 5, so let me do that. So I am gonna just mirror it here, and here also I have to create a cutout. So below enter once again, and that's it. I got it. Okay, so I'll just make sure I keep the outer lines. I'll tell you why. So now I'll just take this back wall line, okay, and get it down little bit, and let me create my elevation. So I'll just move this little bit down because this represents the floor line. Okay, so now let us come back to the elevation. So here in the elevation, let's start with this bottom condition. So in this bottom condition, what you notice is here you have open cabinet, okay, which is directly on the floor. Okay, and then what is there is you have all the panels which are shown. Okay, these panels which are there, these are called as panels, cabinet panels, and they are all 3 by 4 inches. Okay, so now what are we going to do is let's make this only one panel by using the boundary command if you want, and just create the other all the sides. Okay, once it is done, you can just copy and place it on the other side, then we can create this part. Okay, understanding the steps is very important. First of all, you should have a plan of action in your mind, like what from where you would like to start. Okay, that will help you to reduce your time because you will not stop the drawing in between. You have a plan. I'll start from the floor, I'll make this and then make a copy, then again I'll go to the next countertop part. Once this countertop part is done, I'm going to focus on this one. Once this is done, I'll focus on the section or side view. If these things are clear for you, then if somebody is taking 1 hour, you can make it in 15 minutes. That much I can guarantee you, but it needs some practice. Okay, that doesn't come in a day one in one drawing. You have to keep practicing, keep a target, and slow by slow you can just reach the timeline which you decide in your mind. Okay, so firstly I have an height of 32 inches, right, and I have this open cabinet 18 inches each. So first of all, let me just focus on this one. Okay, so I need to remember like this 1 inch is there which I have taken offset here. So come back, give an offset of 1 inch from this corner and from this corner, and then what you have to do, because I have to create a open cabinet here, 32 inches is the height, just give 32 inches from the floor from here, and then give 1.5 inches because the countertop thickness is 1.5. How do I know? Because they have given here, if you see 1.5 inches there. So just come back here. Now you have to create your offset of 18 inches because the open cabinet you have to create. Okay, fine. Now what I have to do, again give an offset of 3 by 4 inches. Okay, so 3 by 4 inches from the top. Just create your boundaries first of all. Okay, so for that you just have to check how the rectangle is placed. Okay, rectangle itself, this bottom panel, this is called as a bottom panel, it is itself is 18 inches. Okay, this is 18 inches. So just come back to your drawing and give an offset of 3 by 4 here, offset of 3 by 4 from this corner. Anyways, top and bottom is there, so I would just give BO enter here. Okay, in one shot you can just make it. Okay, no problem. On the top it is not creating, but that's fine, you can always make a copy. Sometimes it happens, so nothing to worry because we have multiple lines now. It happens though. So now what I'm going to do is, see, I haven't used any rectangle tool till now. I'm just using the construction lines and the modifier tools. My only target in this session is like we'll focus mainly on using the Pro Tools. So Pro Tools only will help you to understand what exactly we are going to do. Okay, so just make a rotation at this location and just put it here. Stretch it and keep it until this point. Just make a copy and place it here. It's done. Now if you still want, you can just make a block. Okay, Control Shift to C, Control Shift to B. So I just made a block, and the same block I can place it here as well. I can remove the unwanted things, make it as it is a block, you can just place it. Okay, now simply what you have to do is just here you can remove these lines. Okay, remove these lines. Now again BO enter. pick points, inside, enter. So my countertop is also ready. Okay, I'm not deleting these lines because anyways I'm going to create my side view. For that it will be useful. Okay, so let's not delete them. Now simply what I have to do, come back to your drawing, because this part is done totally. Now we are going to focus on the next step. Is here you have to give an offset of 18 inches, and then you have to start making this trim or frame that can, this is not a mirror, this can be some kind of frame. Okay, but let's focus on the drawing now. What is there, we'll try to create. So given offset of 18 inches, then 24 inches, this frame I have to create. So come back to our drawing, but before that one thing you have to clarify. It's like this is 36 inches and this is 38. That means it follows exactly the cabinet lines. So bottom you have this open cabinet, right? That path line only it is following. So you have to understand the pattern of the drawing also. It is very important. We'll discuss about this understanding the pattern language in the next session, not now. So first understand this concept, like okay, alignments where they are going to do, but why they do, what is the purpose, is something which we'll learn in the future. Okay, now let's first of all give the 18 inches offset. Already we have some lines, so 18, then from here 24. Okay, now the thing what we have to focus is move these lines from here to this point. Open cabinet lines I'm trying to move so that I can align the top frame up to that location. Okay, so now here come back to your drawing. What they are telling is this frame that you have now, it is 2 inches thick, this part. Okay, this thickness that they are trying to show now, it is 2 inches. So now you have to follow a simple rule. There are different ways how people do this. Okay, I'll show you that way also. Come back to your drawing. In a simple language, what you can do, you can just apply the boundary tool. Okay, BO enter and click inside. Okay, now what you're going to do is offset 2. Okay, now what you can do is you can follow this process. Okay, so this is one way of doing. Now simply I'm gonna just put it outside. Now when you look into this, it's very good and you see that okay, it is exactly the same. But I'll tell you one thing, this is a block. This doesn't matter now how it looks and what they are. People will think like this is a single object, but if you look here now, it is in this manner. Okay, so that means outer you have one rectangle, inside you have one rectangle, and this is what you have. So you don't represent in this way, you always represent it as a single unit. It will be easier. Okay, so that's how you have to understand. And sometimes some people how they do is one more. It's typical, it's not required in that way, but I'll try to show you because I'm just trying to give an exposure of different types of drafting conditions and the patterns that we follow. I'm trying to just trace this one. Okay, I have this one. I'll just try to put it here. Now what I'm gonna do is I'll just try to mirror it exactly at the center. Now again I'm gonna make a copy. Just see what I'm doing. Rotate it. Okay, and just try to place it exactly at this location and stretch it. Okay, now mirror it. And this is also one way. You see everything is a single objects here, and they are all single unit, not objects. So there are 4 units here. Again you can make a block, and this doesn't matter. Okay, this is one way and this is another way. But if you talk about this one, even if you don't make a block, people can clearly understand what they mean. But if you come back here now, people will not have an idea like what exactly the way it goes or something. So there are different meanings to it. That is also part of understanding the drawing language through review. So when you select, only through selection you will get to know, not by observing, because observing doesn't matter, everything is the same. But when you touch it, when you select it, okay, then it will tell you what exactly that defines. Okay, so anyway, let it be a block. So I'm gonna make as a block, move here and place it. So this is done, right? So I'm gonna delete all the unnecessary things. Now simply what I'm gonna do is make a copy here, because I have to create my side view. Everything is done. Now finally this view, what I have to do is, this is my floor line and this is my wall line. Okay, floor line and wall line. So here we are trying to create this, the depth of this trim or frame is 3.5 inches. So that means exactly at this height you have to develop this, and you have to create this countertop side view, and you have to give 1 inch gap, and then you have to create the side view of the open cabinet. Okay, so now let's come back to it, because I have all the dimensions, so it's already traced, so nothing to worry. I'll give offset 25, then again 1 inch. Okay, so now from the floor, you know, these lines are there, so you can stretch it, right? So now I'm just gonna make a copy from this condition to here, and then what I have to do, just remove it. Okay, so remove this line as well. I'm gonna make a copy. Let's do that. Why to use rectangle tool? You can just simply stretch it. Press enter. Okay. Now what I have to do? I have to. Okay. Now give an offset of how much? 3.5 inch from here. So again, rectangle, or else do one thing, just make a copy, because we wanted to depend mostly on our modifier tools. That's what we are doing. Okay, so now it's done. I just have to move it little bit up. I'll tell you why. Okay, now everything is done, so remove it, unwanted things. Okay, 1 second, I have to trim off this one. Now just join it. So my wall and floor line, and this is my floor line, this one, and I'll remove this part, and this is my wall line. If you want, you can give an offset. If you require 6 inches offset, I tried to give. Okay, so this is how you have your plan view, you have your elevation, and finally your side view or sectional view as well. Now simply what I'm going to do, just for the final approval, like everything is perfect, everything is correct, I'm just going to drop my X lines to understand if everything is perfect or not. Okay, now whatever lines you have dropped, just select them all together. Make a selection, blue selection, green selection in this manner on all sides of your X lines. Then simply give the command DR 2 times, enter key at the same time, and you just try to observe, are they lines, X lines are within your drawing, so it should be inside of your drawing. That is when it is stated they are matching to each other. So you see everywhere they are aligning with your drawing, so it's totally a fine drawing, so nothing to worry. Okay, so this is how you're gonna use your pro skills to make your drafting much more easier, simpler, and on time or before. That much I can tell you. Okay, just try to have a strategy when you're making a drawing, and everything will fall in place. So hope this was useful to you. We'll come back with more drafting skills and the tips to make you a professional. Okay, so thank you for watching. We'll be back again.